My name is Robert Victorino. I'm an academic professional with the EMS program at Portland Community College at Cascade Campus.
Manual code 3, copy.
Yep. Okay, manual for Medic 1 with code 3 here report.
Go ahead, Medic 1.
Okay, we're coming in with a 52-year-old male found down, unknown downtime, possibly fell off a ladder, started CPR. We've shocked him 3 times, and our ETA is less than 2 minutes.
Okay, you're going to be in crash room 2 on arrival at manual clear.
Crash room 2, copy.
In EMS training, whether it's for EMT, the entry-level certification, all the way up through paramedic, which is the highest level certification, as part of your training, you have to do rotations in the hospital and on the ambulance, and with various disciplines. So my primary job here is to coordinate and arrange those rotations. And then my secondary job is as an instructor in the program. Okay, well, EMS is Emergency Medical Services. EMT is Emergency Medical Technician. And what a lot of people don't know is there are several levels. Emergency Medical Technician Basic is the initial entry-level certification. It's a couple of terms of class, and you get a national and state certification out of it. You are certified to practice basic life support. I became an EMT because I was living in Austin, Texas at the time, and I met someone who told me that if you took the EMT class at the community college, you got to ride on the ambulance. So I signed up for it, and I took the class, and through my education, when I did those rotations that I talked about earlier, the rotation in the hospital and the rotation in the ambulance, I just found that it was something that I was immediately drawn to. And I found that the impact that I can make in this job is something that leaves me very satisfied with the work that I do. It's having a job that you love is a wonderful thing. It's a great thing, and I wouldn't trade my job for anything in the world. Well, in our job, life and death situations are going to come up. It happens. One of the things that we do is, this is going to sound a little weird, but we try to put as much pressure on them during the program as we can. We use simulation. Granted, a plastic mannequin isn't a human being, but it's the best that we can do in the class. We have crisis management classes as part of the program. When we start a new program, we have the prospective students bring their significant others into the classroom, and we talk directly to their family members, and we talk about the things that they're going to have to deal with. This job puts you in a situation where you deal with some things that are very stressful. And if you bottle that up, if you get into substance abuse over it, it can ruin your career and potentially lead to even more significant problems. That's also why we send them out to the hospital for a lot of work and on the ambulance. The paramedic student is going to spend about 370 hours in the hospital and about 550 hours on the ambulance as part of their education. And part of those experiences is for them to have patient interaction and have patient contact and be there for when somebody dies or be there for when somebody's born. Being able to make a critical or crucial decision quickly is an essential function in this job. People come into this job from all walks of life, but one of the few things that we all have in common, those of us that are successful in this job, is the ability to make a snap decision and move forward with it. One of the things that we use to teach that is our simulation environments. We run them through simulations that are timed, that are all done in real time, so they have to work on time management and enable to effectively manage the short amount of time that you have on an EMS call, is to be able to make a crucial decision and not second guess yourself. If you get into the trap of second guessing to the point that you can't act, you won't be successful in this job. In an urban environment like we have here in Portland, a 911 call is 10 minutes from any hospital. So if you have a critical patient, you have 10 or 15 minutes to make some very crucial decisions. And that certification, that license, enables you to get a job working in, not just on the ambulance, but working in clinics, in hospitals, in emergency rooms. I worked in an emergency room, in a trauma center emergency room for 2 years. So the most inspiring moment of my career actually happened before my career started. It happened in my training. When I went through the EMT program that I went through, we did shifts in the labor and delivery wing of the hospital in Austin, where I lived at the time. And I went up for that rotation, and I was 30 at the time, and I don't have kids. You know, I like kids as long as I can give them back to whoever they belong to. And I went up to my labor and delivery rotation, and I had, you know, worked in the ER at that time for a while, so I had seen my share of trauma, and I had seen my share of, you know, broken bones and respiratory problems and heart attacks and all that. And I went up to my labor and delivery shift during my rotations, and the doctor that was working in labor and delivery, we went in to deliver a baby, and there was me and then 4 or 5 nursing students who were there as well. And the nursing students were crowding around the mother-to-be, getting her all ready for the delivery process, and I was kind of standing in the back of the room. And the delivery was getting ready to start, and the doctor turned around and she kind of grabbed me by the shoulder and she said, "You've got to do this in a trailer park at 3 a.m. by yourself. You need to get up here." And she stood me right in front of her, right there, and I caught that baby, and that was the first baby I delivered, and I think I stayed awake for 24 hours after that. I was so pumped up. There was so much adrenaline flowing, and that's when I went back home to my wife and I told her that I was going to go to school to be a paramedic, because that was in EMT school, and that was the most influential moment. I've had lots of big calls and lots of little calls, but the call, and that wasn't even a call, the incident that changed what I was doing in my life was that moment.